So starting the recording. Cool. Hello, it is your human, Adam Holwerda. Let's try that again. I always forget how to say my last name, and then I'm already saying it. And then I have a little stutter where I stop halfway through, and my brain is so fast that I realized I've already stopped. All right, who brags about their brain being fast? Wow, this human. Well, apparently, this human brags about this type of thing. So anyway, I just wanted to sort of sit down on the ground, basically, and sort of just have a chat. I don't even like the word chat. Like, when people I've been thinking about this a little bit recently. When people say, like, let's have a chat, or like, I just don't like it. I don't know if there's like negative connotations. Oh, it's also like a chat room or something. So a lot of Twitch streamers will say, like, just refer to the chat as a person. They'll just talk to somebody and go like, hey chat, as though it's like a type of Chad, like a chat. Anyway, there's another dude called Chad, and he cost the Florida the election in 2000. Don't hang with Chad. He's not cool. He's not a cool guy. Chat apparently is a cool dude, made of a lot of people. I actually don't know. I feel like I've watched a lot of Chat, and I think Chat's kind of an asshole. Like, Chat doesn't have a good rep in my brain. Like, of course memories are just little collections of cliques of neurons or synapses firing in order to go retrieve something that it thinks is the same as the last time it retrieved it. But since that time, a bunch of those like little data holding things have died. So you might not remember all of it. You might remember it differently than the last time you went to retrieve the data. You could also be intercepted by something. Let's say the government intercepted that and said, like, hey, we're just going to change this one part of the database so that the next time he thinks about X, he's actually going to think about X, so like with an accent on it. Or it's a little yeah. So I don't know. I just wanted to try this. I didn't even know if this would work. Sitting and talking to someone. And what if I talked to you and I didn't call you chat, And what if, I don't know. So what I understand is this is a one-to-many relationship. So I can talk to you specifically, exactly you, but also a lot of other people are also that specific as well. So imagine one node with multiple arrows coming out of it, and each one of those arrows is like hitting somebody, but the arrow is like a video of me talking to you. And so I'm in the past, you're in the future, but the stuff that I'm saying should be relevant enough, hopefully, for you to like for example, I'm using a language that is recent enough for you to be able to parse it because it is the same or similar to your language. Let's say I was broadcasting from like the 15th century, a podcaster from the 15th century or the 16th century, whenever Chaucer was writing. Let's think about that, or around there, because then that type of English was like really. It would be really hard for one of us to understand what somebody was saying, because of the depth and the volume of changes that have happened over. Imagine this like amorphous blob called English. Maybe it's here, and then imagine injecting more and more different parts of it and changing parts of it, so that 200 years later, English looks like nothing that it looked like before. And so really, that podcaster, like, you wouldn't understand shit. I mean, shit might still be a word because I think curse words stay about the same. people like curse words, and I don't know. What is the deal with curse words? Like, I feel like that is an interesting. I think it's. I mean, it's been obviously explored. George Carlin did a good exploration of curse words. Um, yeah, I just think. It's interesting to observe things and then relate those things you observe to stuff that you've read and maybe over time or things that you've created. Maybe you've built some stuff uh, using logic or using critical thinking skills, and your critical thinking skills are pretty good because you've had output from them. You're a function, or you're a generator for a function, and you produce um, an output that actually works. You produce a successful array. Like, you didn't fail. You didn't have a compiler error. You did the task. So, I mean, like, good on you and shit. Uh, what was I even talking about? Swear words and ancient stuff. It's really I keep wanting to like turn this off, you know what I mean? Like, I get to the point where I'm like, I want to turn it off now. I don't want to be on anymore. I don't want to be talking to you anymore. But what if when I feel that way, I don't turn it off? And even if it's awkward and even if it's weird and I don't have anything to say, I'll just sit here and I'll still try to talk to you. That would be really interesting, I think. Um, and if not, that's fine too. There's plenty of other stuff you could be watching on the internet. I found so much stuff to watch, and actually, I think I've been being better about telling YouTube what I don't want to watch. If it tells me, "Hey, watch this white supremacist talking about this or that," and I'm like, "Actually, I don't want to." I'll like tell you I don't want to follow this channel, and it will. I think it cleans up what you're getting served. So I'd recommend doing that if you are consistently seeing or being recommended channels or videos that you don't think are good or that you find healthy. I think you can totally just unsubscribe from those and help the algorithm learn you a little better. Because if we all complain about the algorithm but don't do anything while it's there, we're like, I don't know. It's weird. You're so mad at the algorithm that you're gonna like let your life be bad instead of letting it, since it exists anyway. I don't know. Like, I have philosophical opposition to certain things too, and I think sometimes that's really good. Like, I think you should totally have that. I just think also other times it's a mental block. It's like you are choosing not to do this thing, and it doesn't really have to do with, like, if you're really philosophically against that thing, you might find a better avenue to voice your opinion about it than doing or avoiding it in your everyday life. Because that's just a very passive resistance. Like, if you're going to be a passive resistor, like, what is the point of resisting? That's sort of what I think. Like, if everyone is just passively resisting something, like, sure, that thing might not become as big as it is, but it's also like, if the thing benefits you, don't avoid it. And if it's also not like destroying the planet, well, that's another thing. I don't know. Destroying the planet. I'm not supposed to talk about that. George Carlin told me not to. Not to my face. He didn't he didn't he didn't do it to my face, but I watched a thing. I've just been like watching them over and over again because what I realize is I'll enjoy something the first time, right? And I'll think that I understood it, but the more you listen to it, the more it's like you uncover more stuff every time because the people who are creating things for you to consume are layering them. If they're doing a good job, they're layering them with meaning. They're layering them with readings. You can have different readings of different things. And I think that's really cool. That's just a really cool feature of like they're trying really hard to write really good stuff sometimes. And sometimes that stuff gets to be on top. It gets to be the stuff that we get to see, that we get to watch. So if Russian Doll on Netflix, if you've seen it, wow, right? If you haven't seen it, go watch that stuff. That is a quality program. Um, First really good science fiction, uh, just like or magical realism type uh, TV show that I've seen in a long time, maybe ever. Like it had all the elements of things that I really like, and it was dramatic. It had good comedy. The writing, the dialogue was great. The plot reminded me of Groundhog's Day, which is a movie I loved. So I was hooked right away. Um, the main character, I don't know her name, but she's very good. She does a very good job, and her voice, dude, her voice sounds like she smoked a billion cigarettes, and I think that's the point. Like I think she's supposed to sound like that, but it was awesome. Yeah, you gotta watch that. You gotta like if there's one thing you do, if you like Black Mirror at all, you gotta watch that because Black Mirror is nothing compared to this thing. Like one episode of Black Mirror, like sure, there's been like 4 or 5 really good episodes, and then other ones that are kind of like they just seem gratuitous. Like they're trying to go out of their way to just inflict pain on people or put somebody in jeopardy and then like kill them anyway, even though they use them for suspense and like whatever. I think it's very realistic, and I think it's on par with, but maybe not as good as the Amazon Prime series. Uh, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? Or maybe it's just called Electric Sheep. The Electric Sheep of Philip K. Dick. No, it's called The Electric Dreams of Philip K. Dick, I think. And anyway, that show, I would say, is like a step above. It's a step above the other one, which I can't remember now. What is it called? Yeah, I don't know. The thing, the place, the guy. See, sometimes I lose my train of thought, and since at that point you would have to talk back to me, which it's kind of hard in this format for you to talk back to me, because I'm not doing a chat. I'm not doing a chat. This is a chat, not a chat for the chat. Lucia. Yeah, that means the cat. That's the beer I'm drinking. It's called Lagunitas Something Easy Ale. And it's got a little puppy dog. So yeah, and I would offer you one, but by the time you wanted to drink it, I'm sure it'd be gone. I'm not just gonna wait around for someone from YouTube to show up at my house, drink my beer. I mean, I'm sure it'll happen at some point. That seems like it's something that happens to people. I was never expecting this, but the guy showed up and he just started drinking the beer. Yeah, the beer. Not my blood, which would be a lot weirder, but also more understandable. just because of the type of person who'd break into your house to drink something. It would probably be, what's their beverage of choice in that situation? I don't know. To me, it's apples and oranges. Is that what I want to say? It's it's what's the thing where everything's, I don't know. I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know, dude. I got this book, Small Time Operator, because I have no money and I I need to learn how to get some without. I just have never been able to make money outside of for a company, like a company, working for a company, and they're paying me. So I'm like, I don't understand how to make money without that. But I also know that, like my dad and my sister, that's how they do their stuff. So I just feel like it's a skill I don't have or something. Like I can't sell, or I can't make money. I think it's a sad life, to be honest. But maybe I think this year, 2019, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna just self promote, even though it's weird to do it and be like, oh, I'm self promoting, or oh, I'm putting myself out there for like the reason of I need to be able to sell stuff. Yeah, I need to be able to sell stuff essentially. Um, I'll like, I don't know. There's just something about being outside of the system that is so desirable. Like I'm realizing now as I go back to possibly working for a company again. It's sort of what's brewing in my life, whether I want it to or not. I'm sort of allowing it to brew because if you just respond to any of these emails, it puts you on this like, here's Zelda, your link, you're at the beginning, and you have to like do this whole map basically of activities in order to obtain this position where you sit in a chair uh, and do work a certain way, the way that you're told, work that you like know how to do, and then somebody's like not trained at all, but they're telling you how to do it. Anyway, I probably said too much, but yeah, I think I need to learn how to be a small time operator, essentially. And if I can't, then, well, too bad. I guess I got to put all my stuff in storage and go live at my parents' house. I don't, I don't know what else to do at that point. Seems like a bad. Well, he did really well until he was 32, and then he couldn't sell anything. He couldn't even really convince anyone to give him an in-person interview. Because every time he got on the phone, he would say stuff like word salad dot jpeg. So, yeah, I'm just in a bad. Well, who knows? Maybe it's a good spot. Maybe it's a good spot in my life because anything could happen. Like I said before, basically anything. Um, I do kind of want to live here. Though. Like I like this apartment. I like living in my apartment. Um, I think it's probably one of my. I just want to set it up a little better. I want to set it up with stations. So there'll be multiple computer stations. And yeah, I should do that. I should put that computer on that thing. So I want to have different stations. So obviously this will be like the curtain and the green screen. They go all the way across. So that's awesome. And I'll have 2 computer stations. I'll probably put some storage on the wall here because that seems important. Yeah, and I just want to operationalize this stuff a little bit better because it's all kind of cramped, and it was cramped because I was living with someone, but they left, so now I have all this space, and I have a lot more storage because they left me a lot of their stuff, which was very nice of them. Um, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna try to operationalize the space a little better. And I got rid of a shelf that I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of, because it could go under that shelf right there. Anyway, ignore me. This would be like if you were hanging out with me and I just started to like talk about my house, like, and up there, I'm wondering what to do with that light source. Should I add more wattage, or do you think half of a kilowatt per hour is enough? Um, that would be a lot of energy, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Probably not, actually. Humans give off 100 watts, like, just sitting here. So, which is like a car battery every 12 hours you generate of energy. A car battery. That's hilarious. That's really, wow. Dude. Car battery every 12 hours to power a human. Wow. I don't even know, dude. But it makes sense. Like, think of all the things that have to happen. You got to turn all that energy, and that's just what's coming out. I'm sure there's more inside. So you got to turn the chemical energy into stuff too. What am I talking about? What do you want to talk about? What do you want to talk about? We were talking about Russian doll. We could talk about that some more. Actually had some stuff on my phone about Russian doll, the stuff that I was thinking about afterwards. So I'll just look at that. Oh, that's the thing. I can do this now. I can just look at my phone and stuff. Wow. What is life even? I have a hard time finding this. uh okay. Or I could do, so I've been doing dream journaling. I could tell you my dream. No, it's not really gonna happen. Who would do that? I could do that, but why would I do that? Oh, Russian doll. Okay. So I write a lot of like notes, I guess. I write like 2 or 3 different ones a day. So sometimes it's hard to get down to where you need to be. All right, so Russian doll. Ooh. Ooh, so there's some questions and stuff. Um so I think a lot of the stuff here is spoilers, so I can't really talk about that. But I will say some of the themes, some of the themes that I thought were present in the whole thing, themes that made the uh, themes that made it work essentially. Uh, and I'll just go in reverse order, because why not? I'm just gonna read this from the bottom up. Uh, Reality is malleable. That's one of the lessons. So like the world that we live in is changeable depending on our decisions and our patterns. Like if we're the way that we live our lives can determine a way that we can change the world. Okay, that's one theory or one theme. Another one is therapy works. So stuff like talk therapy or cognitive behavioral therapy or self-reflection journals or uh, behavior change attempts and stuff. That stuff works because you can reprogram how your brain works and you can think to yourself different thoughts in the moment if you have if you train yourself to do it. Yeah, so therapy works. That's another theme. Another theme is like to be present, experience the world through yourself, not your phone. Like experience the world through yourself and not your phone. So like when you want to take a picture of something because you want to share that thing and how beautiful it is, you're not really appreciating it. You just want to monetize it. And if that's your natural habit to do that, that is a veneer on your life, on reality. You're putting a contact lens over your life. Um, I mean, maybe a contact lens. Maybe it looks sharper. Like maybe you can like change the filter on the picture, but it's not going to change. Like when you get to the end of your life, you're going to be like, why didn't I just like breathe in that moment versus try to take a picture of it and post it for likes, etc. Um, Another theme is check on your friends, and that's just like if you're somebody who really cares about the people that you've interacted with, uh, or that care about you, it's or that anyone that you're concerned about, check on them because they might just be going through a loop or this they might just be doing the same thing all the time and it's destructive. And if you notice they're doing a destructive loop and you don't say anything to them, like you're not really a good friend and you're not really a caring, you don't really care about them. They're just there to serve you. They're just there to amuse you. Uh, so if somebody's in your life and they're doing a destructive loop and you don't say anything, I'm not impressed. Okay, so another one was get over your mama trauma. So this is just like or daddy stuff. I don't know. I don't know what kind of things people have. Um, but if like somebody formative did stuff to you or acted in a way that was crazy that you couldn't cope with when you were young, you don't have to like live out your life in reaction to that thing. You can at any point decide, hey, like, yeah, that thing happened, and it doesn't need to be the thing that makes me do every motion, right? Like you don't want to have that thing controlling your life. Why does it have to change the way that you move throughout the world? Um, just because somebody wanted to be weird or had some issue. Um, yeah. Recognize that you're a lot stronger. Like your brain is a lot stronger, and you're like sure we have to deal with society now, but imagine how much more strong we get with exposure to for the internet, for example. This video has the potential, like this, it would never happen, but it has the potential to be seen by millions of people, and that's something that I'm aware of, and that I would be able to deal with now, having interacted with the internet and the way the internet is for more than 10 years. Uh, more than that, probably. I don't know. I don't remember how long. But I'm just saying, like, the way that something is outside of you, that affected you, that something happened to you before, that doesn't have to affect you now. You can make a decision that it's not going to be this wound anymore. You can heal your wound. But you have to notice it and you have to want to heal. And then you can do stuff like changing your self-talk and um, doing, interactive journaling, for example. Um, which, which I think is a valuable therapeutic tool. But I'm not a therapist, so I can't give advice per se. I'll just say that as somebody who's written his entire life in either a journal or in short stories or in poems or creative nonfiction narrative serving as like memoir or whatever. I know that writing is a therapeutic process because I've lived that therapy. I've lived exploring my feelings through writing and finding out once I wrote it all down that it wasn't as scary or as hurtful as I thought it was. You know? And sometimes we want to build up these things that happen to us like they were these huge things and put them on other people. But we don't have to. So that's another theme in that show, Russian Doll, which I think I could talk about themes and not talk about those are my takeaways. Maybe is a better way to say it, because themes I think are intended by the authors. And I think takeaways or readings is really what it is. Readings are what the consumer, the viewer, the reader, what they come away from something with. And maybe a lot of times all of the intentions aren't met, but a lot of times most of the stuff that the author was trying to make you feel or give you or whatever, good fiction and good film, the reader or author or the viewer ends up coming away with something I think that's a lot closer to what the author wanted you, or the director or the writer wanted you to experience. And I think that's what I experienced with Russian Doll, although I'm a dude and it's written by all women, so what do I know? Probably nothing. Yeah, I just say I enjoyed it. That's anyway. So now I've talked for a half hour, 30 minutes. I think at this point, if you were hanging out with me and I was still talking to you, I don't know what would be going on, because we probably would have like moved on to playing a game or something. We'd probably be like playing pool or playing darts or something. Bowling. We might be going bowling. It's one of the things I like to do. I haven't gone bowling in a while. I should go bowling. I'll just go bowling by myself the next few days. Yeah, bowling. Yeah, man. See, because bowling is something that I've always done, so maybe by now I'm like kind of good at it. Maybe with the Rocket League idea, where you just, if you play it once in a while and then play it later on, maybe you'll be a little bit better, because your brain like remembers it. It's like, oh yeah, this game I played before. You don't panic about stuff that's like obvious, or like you do the right motions because it's your muscle memories. I used to think that about diving, because I used to be a springboard diver. And, after, I thought like, oh, since my brain remembers exactly what to do and what it feels like, I just have to like make it feel like that. But what I didn't sort of consider was that over certain time, over years, maybe years, a couple of years, probably 5 or 10 years, between like competitively diving and trying to do this diving stuff on a diving board, I'm sure a lot of my muscles like disappeared or changed, or like, yeah, like I wasn't using the same muscles. I wasn't using those muscles anymore. And then it's not like you can do the same motion just because you remember it, because your brain remembers it the way those muscles worked when they were good. Not the way it is now. You have floppy noodle muscles. It's not throwing you up in the middle of the air, giving you enough torque for 2.5 rotations with your beer belly gut pike position. It's just not going to happen, man. So false news on that front, I would say. Well, well. I think that's about it. I don't. My mouth hurts, and well, I still have some beer. I could go until this beer is gone. I guess I could do that for 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 F's sake. Frank is his name. So let me be Frank for a second. Frank Castle. Oh my gosh, I've been watching The Punisher. So here's you probably don't even want to hear this, but I have opinions about I have opinions about Daredevil and The Punisher. So the last season of Daredevil and the last season of Punisher. Here's my opinions about it. Wow. And I don't really care about spoilers this time because who cares? Why? Okay, so those have been out for a while. Like Russian Doll, you might not have seen, but Daredevil and Punisher, like if you haven't watched them yet, all right, that's I'm not. Then just like don't listen to what I'm gonna say because it's probably gonna be spoilers in this, or you probably don't care that much because you know that there's not gonna be seasons after those because they got canceled. Wait, I don't think Punisher got canceled yet. Although to me that's the worst. Like it's written much worse than uh, Daredevil season 3, which I thought was very good. So what I want to talk about is Daredevil season 3. So this is a TV show on Netflix. It's a Marvel TV show, and it's better than Agents of Shield. And no, okay. So what do I want to talk about that? I thought it was very well done, very well written. I thought some of the uh, sort of game versus game stuff, like where or spy versus spy, even you could say, where each character or there's like starts with two characters, right? Um, Daredevil and Kingpin, and Daredevil has just like somehow got ejected out of a sewer after like a whole building collapsed on him, and he like gets picked up by a guy who takes him to a church, and he like becomes he gets better in the basement of the church, the same church that he like grew up being a sheltered boy at, you know, at an orphanage, at that same church. Well, because I think he asked to go to that church. He's like, "Take me to this church." It wasn't like a coincidence, because that would be annoying. Hold on, let me wet my whistle. Jeez, jeez, you guys are so demanding. That's all I have to say. All right, that's one wet whistle. That's one wet whistle. I'd have to say that. Oh my god. Okay, I have to edit this whole thing out. I'm gonna edit this whole video out. So, what was I even talking about? Yeah, so Daredevil. So he's in the basement of this thing. He's getting better. He has this problem, like he can't really hear and stuff. And then, okay, I thought this was kind of a plot hole or like unbelievable. He finds a neti pot. Daredevil finds a neti pot, and he's like, "Oh, neti pot," and he like, and I'm like, "Really? And you found a neti pot, and this is gonna be the plot thing?" So he like finds the neti pot, and he like puts it up in his nose, and like a scene later, all this blood comes out, and he's like, "Oh, I can hear again. I'm fine. I'm great." It just seemed very much like, okay, that's not good writing, but I also like I went with it. I was like suspension of disbelief. It's the first episode, Daredevil, whatever. Uh, it's cool. So then he like has to fight this, like the church. The church arranges for him to fight this homeless guy or something. I don't know if it's some kind of boxer. Okay, he comes in and they're gonna pay him. Basically, the church is gonna pay him, so he's fighting and like they're fighting in this basement that has all these like plaster winged angel like sculptures. So I think like this is kind of a dangerous place to be boxing, but they do it anyway. What am I talking about? So anyway, the Kingpin is the other side of it, and he's just getting out of prison. So you're seeing him get out of prison because I guess in the last season he went to prison. Um, yeah, man. Anyway, I just think the writing in Daredevil is a lot better than Punisher. Because I think I started watching Punisher, and yeah, like, yeah, no, like, it's not good. Like, the Frank Castle guy is okay, but he's also, like, his fight scenes, he just looks jerky and, like, jerky and weird. Like, it doesn't look right. You see him fighting, and you're like, how's everyone avoiding him somehow? Like, he doesn't get hit by anything. And he's like Frankenstein doing these moves, like oh, oh, oh. Like I don't know. uh, Me talking to you until my voice dies. A new podcast coming every day, coming every day in your face. Oh, what day is it? Today is Valentine's Day. Oh, happy Valentine's Day. To me, to me. Uh, Yeah, happy Valentine's Day to me. So, so the other thing about the Punisher, I just think it's like it's flat. It's like no one cares. There's no emotional. Everyone is written as like a flat stereotype of themselves. Like it's sort of like a. It's not even good. And the villain is like just a mental patient who is just a mental patient. So, so yeah. I think that's essentially my thought on that. I'm gonna stop now because I'm starting to look at the camera, which is bad. Probably should um, not do that. Anyway, I was Adam Holwerda, and this was me talking to you.